I'm kind of disappointed, not disappointed, kind of disgusted with the offensive line of the Bengals. So offensive linemen are the DBs of offense. They work backwards, and no one cares about them unless you mess up. And boy, did the Bengals mess up time and time again. You had Jake Browning out there not getting protected. And then this one last video where you see these guys get around the edge so fast, you got 5 on 3. It's a rough picture. My man Jeff, I'm sure, recognizes how tough it was.
Look at this. Jeffrey, what are we doing
Listen,
here?
communication is the key of offensive line-wise. They do not communicate who has who, where they're going. It's like, the Top Gun. Where'd who go? Dude's just zipping by you, hitting the QB.
It's just like in the secondary. You got to communicate.
That's right.
O-linemen are DBs with no style on the offensive side of the ball, except for Jeff. Except for Jeff. Jeff got some paisley on today. Look at that swag. Watch out, boy.
Let's move on. Hey, Peter Schrager, what are you mad about as we head towards Week 5?
The Giants have the win of the last 5 years in that building, and the reaction was, yeah, but Joe Alt was down, and Rashawn Slater didn't play, and it was a 10 a.m. start for the Chargers. Don't discount what the Giants did, beating a very good Chargers team with a rookie quarterback and Cam Scatterboo, not only running but blocking.
Yeah.
I picked them Friday. I wanted flowers or something. I got nothing. I wanted something.
You are
Don't
right.
discount the Giants. Good win.
Brian Burns, freaking.
Oh, my God. It elevated the whole team. Right? It elevated the whole team. But we'll come back to that. Jeff, who are you mad at today?
The Eagles haters. Everybody's out here bashing the Eagles. Everybody's bashing Saquon, bashing Brown, bashing Sirianni, bashing everybody. They're 4-0. And by the way, they beat the Rams, the Chiefs, and the Bucks. They ain't played scrubs. Have they played excellent football?
Yeah.
No. Have they won all their games? Yes. It is first world problems. Get off the hate.
That's fair.
Dang.
Let's put up the numbers so everyone knows what we're talking about. The Eagles' offense this year, they completed 0 passes in the second half last week. They're allowing 330 yards a game. That's 22nd in the league. Their offense is sitting bottom 3 in yards per game, yards per play, passing yards per game, which is why people are questioning them. But then, as Jeff points out, not only are they 4-0, but they've won 20 of their last 21 games, including a Super Bowl. So let's dispense with all of that. I'm going to ask you a direct question, Lewis. Yeah. The way they're playing right now, the way they look right now, are they good enough to defend their Super Bowl championship?
No, but only because, look, I think if they had to really go into like a single elimination game, right, and go up against a team like, let's just say, like the Rams in particular, who I think are playing well enough right now to make it to the Super Bowl. Matthew Stafford's playing well enough to carry a team to the Super Bowl. I think they could run into some problems. Now, that being said, look, they're 4-0. I agree with Jeff. A lot of the issues that this football team has, I think, are going to work its way out as the season goes along. There's nothing wrong with Saquon. He has not hit a wall. He's not all of a sudden an aging back that they're stuck in a bad contract. There's nothing wrong with A.J. Brown's skill set. He will get it going as well. This is the thing. Jeff talked about, you talking about first world problems. Yeah. You're 4-0, and your team right now is kind of not like playing to its potential. There's nothing wrong with this football team, but I think this year, the field is going to really be catching up to them. They're going to be right on their heels at the end of the season.
Here's the thing. I don't know everything. I defer to your expertise, but I know that when my star wide receiver is posting Bible verses sort of cryptically, something's not exactly right, right? You weren't here for a little bit of this conversation yesterday. What do we make of that? What do we make of the we're not the only ones who are noticing he's not involved.
He's frustrated. But make no mistake, he's getting targets. I think that's a misnomer that people think. Now, are his targets quality?
There we go.
Okay. That's fair, right? He may not be getting quality, but he is getting targeted. The other side of the run game, I'm just going to put this out there. Dickerson. I thought they lost him for the season in the preseason. He's playing banged up. Lane Johnson's playing banged up. So offensively, Becton left, right? So they're a different group up front. Now you have a new coordinator. Again, the third new coordinator. It all takes time to figure this thing out. The offensive line will get, but they have not done a great job. Even Mailata said it. He said, listen, we're missing blocks. We're not sticking to blocks, which limits Saquon's explosive plays. All of that can be true.
I feel ridiculous pointing out their problems, but the problems are relatively evident to see. When you have 0 completions and -1 yard and a half of football, everything isn't exactly right.
It's the eye of the beholder, because here they are. They haven't even played a complete game yet. You look at it, their first half against the Rams was horrendous, but the second half was great. Their first half against the Buccaneers was tremendous. Second half was terrible, and yet they're 4-0. Have you heard of Mel Robbins? You know who that is?
Yeah, I do.
The let them theory?
Yeah.
That's kind of what they've got to just kind of lean into. Let everyone else talk about us. Let everyone else panic about us. Guys, we're 4-0, and to Jeff's point, we beat Tampa. We beat the Rams.
I got
we
a
beat the
question.
Chiefs.
Can Mel Robbins get the ball to A.J. Brown? That's my only damn question. Can Mel design some sort of play action deep over something? Can Mel talk A.J. Brown into going into motion, doing something creative? Can Mel convince Kevin Petula that throwing the ball on first down is the most advantageous time to throw the ball?
Yeah.
They are amongst the last in the league. We come into this season knowing that they have a great running attack. So we know that people are going to gear up to stop on the run. So on early downs, people are geared up to stop on the run. And they throw the ball less than anyone else on first down. So I don't know.
Mel Robbins and Big Dom, a podcast.
There we go. There we go.
Just get the ball, AJ.
There's always so many things, right, that go into this kind of like spotty up and down performance. I mean, look, Jeff is alluding to it. The offensive line is not kicking everyone's ass like they were years ago. They're just not.
Yeah.
It just doesn't look like that anymore. Look, Saquon, what is it, like 1.4 yards per carry before first contact this year? Last year was almost 4. Last year he was up at safety before anybody even touched him.
Yeah.
So it's not like all of a sudden, the whole argument doesn't need to start about running backs anymore, about whether or not you should pay him. He's fine. They will even this thing out. Only thing I am saying, though, Greeny, when you asked me the question about is this still a team that can get back to the Super Bowl with the way they're playing right now? If they keep playing this way, a team like the Rams will jump up and beat you.
Yeah.
A team like the Bucks, all these teams are going to trend the right way. They're going to be there in the end.
Absolutely.
They're going to be there in the end.
Absolutely.
No one's questioning whether they'll be there or not. I mean, look, Brian Windhorst has a great expression in the NBA. I think it applies. Winning a championship means never having to say you're sorry. Because they won the title last year, we give them the benefit of the doubt, right? That they'll get this thing figured out. If they didn't have that, we might be looking at the situation differently.
Of course, but I think Jeff was mad about the way that people are treating the Eagles, but they've created these expectations for us. Yeah. And I think that it's hard to have a conversation about an undefeated team having issues, but the numbers are the numbers. And we watch the games also. They do have some concern.
I'm old enough to remember when wide receivers would get mad and they would throw tantrums on the sidelines. Now they have a different way of expressing their
I like the way he went about it.
It's sort of a little
like that.
In some ways, it's better. All right, we're just getting rolling here. We've got the magic of Mahomes on the way.
They've played very well. Josh Allen is playing better than a lot of quarterbacks in the NFL, and the way their schedule is set up, we knew that they were going to have the easiest schedule, so I think they're in good company.
Yeah, the division falling by the wayside a little bit. We'll see where
I didn't want to talk about your Jets there.
The next one, no. Well, we'll get to that. There's not a whole lot of reason to talk about them when it comes to the division. They played each other, by the way, and the Jets still haven't started competing in that game. Okay, let's get to the Jaguars. Would Kmart be shocked if the Jaguars win the AFC South?
I would not be shocked. And you know why I'm saying that? I don't want Liam Cohen to knock me out. I just feel like I'm that dude always wants a fight. No, honestly, you think about that division, like at this point, they have a good record. The Titans are kind of a mess right now. Cam Ward's saying that himself, so I wouldn't be shocked. I think they've got talent, and their record is pretty good.
Jeffrey, do you take that personally?
Absolutely.
From an Indianapolis perspective?
Have we watched it? If Mitchell just possesses the ball one more second, they beat the Rams. Are we not putting the Colts above the Jags? Come on, Kmart, be better than that.
I'm just trying to get under Jeff.
You just don't want Liam mad at you. I understand.
That's exactly right. I don't blame him. And that last one. Would Kmart be shocked after watching them play last weekend and all maybe seeming right again in the kingdom if Kansas City finds its way all the way back to the Super Bowl one more time?
No, I would not be shocked. This is a team that, coming into this year, figured getting knocked around in the Super Bowl, that would wake them up a little bit. This has not been the season they expected, but I think you saw a worthy comeback, and you saw some juice, you saw some energy in this offense. I think now they've survived Rashee Rice at this point with his absence, so I think they're in pretty good position.
So, Jeff, you weren't here yesterday. There's been a pretty split debate on this show this week. I feel like about half the people I've had on have said, see, that's what it's supposed to look like. They get Worthy back. They're going to get Rashee Rice back. The Chiefs are right back.